So when we're trying to explain to someone, possibly a colleague or a veterinary student, how the TPLO works, we usually try to give the book's explanation. And what the book says is that if this is the femur is applying a force to the tibia that is collinear to the mechanical axis of the tibia. But because the surface of the tibia is at an angle to this axis, the femur tends to slip down that slope. And the cruciate ligament is there to stop the slipping, but when the cruciate ligament is not there anymore, that's what happens. And then we say that we rotate the surface to a TPA of 5 degrees, and that stops the slipping. But the question becomes, why do we not rotate to 0 degrees? If the force applied from the femur to the tibia is collinear to the mechanical axis, should we not be making the surface of the tibia perpendicular to the mechanical axis so that the femur doesn't slip? And then it becomes quite complex to explain why this happens. The explanation is that actually the force is not collinear to the mechanical axis, which is against what the book says. So I have found a different way of explaining to people that are not used to reading the veterinary literature how the TPLO works. And the way I have found helps is to represent the tibial surface with my phone surface. And I say that if this is the femur, the weight of the animal generates a tendency that we call a moment for the femur to collapse or to flex. And the muscles do exactly the opposite, generate a tendency to prevent that from happening. But when the muscles do that, the femur tends to slip down that slope like that. And what we do with the TPLO is we change the direction of the surface, and now the muscles can push the tibia so that the dog can walk without the femur slipping, because it cannot slip like that anymore. The surface is there. And that is a sound mechanical model. It is correct mechanically, but it doesn't represent reality. But I find that using science fiction to explain something to someone is better than lying, i.e. saying that the force is there when the force isn't there. And because we don't know exactly where the force exactly is and why the TPLO stops the slipping, I'd rather use science fiction. That makes sense, because mechanically that's correct, rather than using a wrong model. I don't know if that will help you explain the TPLO to your students or the clients, but it has helped me.